Right, yeah, I've been busy, had quite a busy few weeks, mainly working on this thing. As you can see, it's taking shape, it is looking pretty cool. But I also, the other week, went to the Cornwall Model Show, which was a fantastic weekend. It's quite local, as the name suggests, about just under an hour away. Massive shout out to my good friend Aaron. Legend, mate. Thank you for being a legend all weekend. But yeah, we had a really good show. We had the whole room to ourselves this year, which was cool. And every hour we turn the lights off, bit of a night run. The coolest thing though, I have to say, would be this. Doesn't that look awesome? So obviously there are lots of different models. It's a model show, it's not just trucks. So we got, you know, your boats, your cars, your planes, your trains. Mainly trains. There's a lot of trains, but they are awesome to look at, those big displays, you know, the little worlds, you know, the N gauge and double O gauge, really awesome stuff. But these are the big trains, the 3.5-inch gauge and the 5-inch gauge stuff. And I was talking to the guys there and they went, well, bring a truck and trailer, they're only in the hall next to us, drive it in here and we'll see what they look like on the back, you know. I borrowed Keith's trailer, who's a really kind friend, he's an awesome dude. He says, if I'm not using that trailer, help yourself. So, and he even wired the trailer up to work with my T-cab, which is fantastic. Really didn't need to do that, but he's a legend. So yeah, I borrowed it for a little bit, took it next door, and we put this train on the back of it, and it looked phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. 5-inch gauge live locomotive. It weighed 38 kilos according to the owners, and I was really impressed that my T-cab was actually able to pull it. I didn't think it was going to do that, considering it's a, you know, it's a tag lift, so only the middle axle is powered, and it's only an 80 turn motor with a 14:1 box, so it's not designed to pull that sort of weight. I mean, I don't know what the trailer weighs, at least 7 kilos, so you're looking at least 45 kilos just in the train and the trailer alone. So yeah, I was impressed with that. And big shout out to Aaron for filming it for me. I've been busy every other evening, basically, weekend, working on this. I have done a lot. But yeah, it's a lot to go through, but I'll give you a quick whistle-stop tour of what I'm up to and where I need to go next. So first off, I've got the front hitch. That is from KK Truck Stores. It is bolted to the metal bracket behind the bumper. So it's not just the bumper, so it is structural. I can pull weight. In fact, it's useful because now I can pick the front of a truck up with it. The back, I've got the rear hitch. So I'm basically using the front and rear hitches as pickup points, which is very helpful. It's not a light truck, so it's yeah, the easier it is to carry and pick up, the better. So yeah, that's on there. I like it. Some might say it ruined the look of the front, but I think it suits it quite nicely. Moving around, steps. I've put a lot of work into these. I'm trying to make them look like 4 Series steps. They are quite different from 5 Series. Nobody makes them off the shelf, so I'm having to sort of, you know, make them myself. A lot of filler, a lot of sanding filler. I sprayed some filler primer on it last week, so that's why they got this sort of beigey orange colour to them. Still work in progress, but I had to put them back on. Sometimes it's helpful just to put things back together so you can visualise what you're doing and sort of reinvigorate your enthusiasm a bit, because I was getting a little bit teasy with them. So I put them back on, and yeah, I've just started to mark out. I've got a marker light to go in there. But I've also got obviously cut out the 2 steps somewhere, although saying that, I did see this style recently and I quite like that, so I'm still in 2 minds about the exact approach to do, whether to keep them covered up or to actually cut the steps in. I don't really know yet. I'll probably cut the steps in, but I'll give myself a bit of a break on them for a minute. Anyway, that's the steps, obviously the same on the other side. Top part here is removable. There's a self-tapper on the inside. I did that so I can get to the mount for the pole. I'll talk about them in a minute, but yeah, that's why that's like that. You can see. Is it going to focus? Anyway, there you go. Wheels. Big shout out to Ian at IDW. Thank you very much, mate. I got the wheel nut covers, the donut rings for the 2 steer axles. And then the rear axles, I've got the new hubs, the 80-ton style hub reduction hubs. They're just a aesthetic thing, but they just look better. I think they suit the truck a bit more, a bit heavier duty. So yeah, I like that. And so yeah, big thank you to Ian for that. And also at the back, if I can turn the truck around quickly, I will show you this metal bar at the back. It was styrene, I've replaced it with aluminium, and I've just shortened these rear flaps so they don't scrape on the floor. So they just sit off, this surface isn't level, so don't worry about it, but they do just now miss the floor, which is what we want. I don't want them to be constantly scraping all the time. So yeah, that's what I've done there. Now in here, I won't take them off, but in there, behind the back wall, I've cut the back wall off and I've joined them together. I put a floor underneath. So it's one great big box. This side's got the receiver in, the other side's got the beer unit in, the battery and a power switch live in the equipment tower. The battery lives in the fuel tank. Power switch lives up there in the toolbox. So I have had it running and driving. The steering servos that were already in it I didn't like very much, so I took them both out. One of them was a plastic geared and the metal geared one was making an annoying buzzing sound, so I just replaced both of them. Now this axle has to have a low profile servo due to the restriction on space. So I've just put another low profile in. The one I put in is a 22 kilo rated metal geared thing. I'll put a picture of it up because I can't remember the brand right now. But that one's in there, and because the previous servos didn't have any stickers on, no model number or anything, so I didn't know what they were rated for. The front axle currently hasn't got a steer servo, hence I can do this. Reason being, I am waiting for a bracket to arrive. So I've got 2 servos in a box over here, made by this company. The servos I normally use in my trucks is what I've put in all of them, I think. 25 kilo metal gear, very nice servos. One of them is going to be for steering that axle, and the other one is going to be to activate the differential locks, because of course this truck has 3 locking differentials. These 3. They are cable operated. I have ran the cables through the frame. They come up to the front and sit just there. You can see just above my finger. That's where they lie at the minute. Obviously there should be 2 servos in here, one for steering and one for diff lock. So as soon as the bracket arrives from KK Truck Stores, I can put that in. But that's what I'm waiting for at the minute. So yeah, that's where I got to on the steering and the diff locks. Now the bonnet. This is from a guy on Facebook in France called Jerome. If you're on Facebook, you'll know who I'm talking about. His kit, like all TCAB kits, there's pros and cons. The one thing, well, there's a few things on it that weren't quite right. This line stopped just about where my finger is. It shouldn't. It should go, as it is now, all along the front to the grille. So I cut that in on both sides. I also removed and actually made the vent a thing. I actually cut the material out of it, and at the top here, the wiper blades, they were set up for left-hand drive. As you can see, I filled those holes in, drilled 2 new holes, and that's for the right-hand drive wiper blades, because of course my steering wheel was on the correct side of the truck. I've just annoyed a lot of you there, but it is, in my world, on the right hand side, the correct side. I was talking to Ian at C&J about that. He was showing me the little details he did on his TCAB, which is an absolute masterpiece of a model, so I was just trying to keep up, really. But yeah, it's details I never bothered with on that one because I didn't know any better. Now we get to the big stuff. Well, actually, no, quickly, I put the windscreen in, put the windows in, just make sure they fit. I do a few little cuts here and there, make sure they get in there. Seats, gear sticks all screwed in, same with the bed. So the interior is, everything that's in there is now bolted in place or attached properly. But let me get to the big stuff. Miro in Ireland, so I got the 2 roof bars from him. This one here, I have no idea what it's called. I saw it on this truck, which I believe was an early IDW build, and I just basically sent Miro this picture and said, I want those 2 roof bars, please. So yeah, this thing goes around the sunroof, front spotlight bar, obviously the 6 rectangular spotlights. I bought these second hand a few years ago for really cheap. I think I paid a tenner for all 6 of them. The problem was, as the previous owner cut the wire off, you can just see where the wire was. So I don't know why you would do that, but I do need to, thankfully they're really easy to take apart. So I need to take each one apart and replace the SMD inside each one. This is cool. So this is an illuminated headboard that Miro made me, which is very nice. So I'm going to get my name done obviously on a sticker, that will go on that. And also in this top bar, there's we've got 5 marker lights in the front, and then the 2 oblong strobe lights. It's a little flash obviously, and the rest of them are all orange, because I think it looks cooler on this sort of type of truck. Big visor, I've already had this visor, I forgot I had it last time. I sent it back to Miro, I bought it again second hand years ago. It was blue and it only had 2 lights in it, so I stripped the paint off and then sent it back to him, and he put 2 more lights in it for me. So I think it suits it really nicely. And then the poles, the marker poles, this is orange and red. So obviously orange facing forwards, red facing backwards. And then I've got 14, 7 aside, of these little orange and red pods. You've got one on the bumper, one under the mirror, 2 on the side skirt at each top corner, and then 1 between each axle, and then 1 on the back. So same on the other side. So yeah, that's going to look pretty cool at night. Lots of lights. I'm currently waiting for a few things, obviously that servo bracket to arrive, as I mentioned earlier. I'm also waiting for the beacons. They are en route currently, and I'll show you them obviously when I get them. And I've also got a big box of stuff on the way from Tom over at Dradee. Most of the stuff is for the crane truck, however there are a few bits for this one, some marker lights to go along here, one up there, and then a couple to go in the grille. But yeah, it's taking shape for this thing. It is looking really nice. It's a lot of work still to do, but I'm getting there with it. But yeah, I need those parts before I can make any more significant progress. I don't know how to talk properly. Also, I just want to thank you all very much. 1,500 subscribers. That is awesome. That means a lot to me. So thank you very much for that. That is awesome to see, and I will keep uploading these videos whenever I make significant progress. So yeah, but anyway guys, I'm going to disappear again, and hopefully I can get those parts installed, and then I can I'll give you another update on it. Hopefully then I could have it driving, and we'll talk about taking it to a few shows as it is and going from there really. But there we are. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Cheers.